Yes guys, welcome, Championship Manager 0102, the three-man epic game. You can see in a date in the corner, the 29th of June, 2132. So we have just concluded season 118 on our three-man game, myself, Pep and Ian. We have just concluded, literally last night, we concluded Euro 2032. Now, anyone that's on the Facebook CM group, you'd have probably seen a post that I put on last night of a specific lineup. So no spoilers alert. But let's talk about the league first. Like I said, you might already be aware of some of this, but this is just a little bit more of an in-depth insight into the end of last season. In fact, I can't show the end of last season because I've already turned over to the new season. So Ian won the title for a fourth successive year. He won it on goal difference of me. Sorry, I got that totally wrong. It wasn't a fourth, it was a fifth successive year. He has now equalled the record that I set with Tottenham. There you see, Tottenham. So he's got 5 in a row. So this season's a big season for Ian. He's going to want to break that record and own it on his own. Now, you've got to give credit to Ian because he was the bollocks last season. He won the FA Cup against AI. Now, AI, the reason he got AI, I think I knocked out Pep, I think. Let's just have a look. I can't even get to it. But yeah, he knocked out Oxford in the final, but it took penalties. It took penalties, but AI were in the final, but Ian stood firm. Ian also last season won the League Cup. He beat Pepe 1-0 to claim the League Cup. And the Champions League, if you haven't already seen it, he won that as well. He won that 4-2 against me. A little bit unjust, I think it's fair to say. So he did the quad. Now, interestingly, something I spotted, not a massive thing, but just an observation. Charlton finished 6th in the Premier League last season. But because of the way everything went, Charlton did not qualify for Europe. 5th place was QPR. They qualified for the UEFA Cup. And the reason Charlton didn't qualify is because Spurs finished 7th and Spurs won the UEFA Cup. So Spurs qualified for the UEFA Cup again. Oxford qualified for the UEFA Cup as runners-up of the FA Cup because United won it. The League Cup, of course, that place in the UEFA Cup was obsolete because Man U won it. And then the Intertoto Cup went to Coventry anyway. So a little bit harsh really on Charlton, who have been a force. They've always been a bit of a banana skin, to be honest with you. So that's that. Now let's go. I haven't actually been resigned yet, but I was always going to resign from Germany after the Euros, and there you see it. Ian beat me in the final, deservedly so by far. But what's more remarkable, that was my semi-final. I beat Pepe. So I knocked Pepe out in the semi-final. So the semi-final lineup was crazy. That was the semi-final. So what was bizarre that we were all there, and what's more bizarre is Ian has not only got the quad last season, but I think he'll probably break a record on points. I don't really follow it that much, the point side of things, but let's just have a quick look then on manager's stats. I think the reputation's a load of bollocks, to be honest with you. Let's see though, we should be able to do something to do with points. Ian is going to absolutely smash it. Alright, okay. He's going to absolutely smash it. I mean, look at that. So far, I mean, because I think the points run from January to December. So, is he in the World Club Cup this season? Let's take a look, actually, if he's in the World Club Cup. No, he's not. That's going to be next season. It's every odd year, which is a bit of a shame, really. But winning the Euros, you know, I can't praise him enough. But what it does mean is that this season is a massive... For me personally, I want to... So you probably already gathered, the FA Cup then. The FA Cup, let's just see, it wasn't Ian that knocked me out the FA Cup, I know it was. And there you see, he knocked me out at the quarter-final stage. And that was, of course, going to prevent the FA Cup going to me for a 9th successive time. So that's a record that I've got fully intact. That's going to take some beating. But the fact that Ian's won the league now means he's gunning for a 6th straight title, and that's something I've got to prevent. You know, there's no doubt about that. Let's talk about Pep. What can you say about Pep? I mean, let's take a look at domestic leagues. That's what I'm talking about, Pep. I mean, look at that. What we at? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The last 10 seasons in a row, he's finished 3rd. And his points tally haven't been brilliant. I mean, me and Ian finished bang level on 99 points. In fact, I will show you just exactly where we finished. So we'll do it like that. So there you see, I finished with 99 points. And you can see goals scored 114 and 30 against, 32, 3 and 3. And then, of course, Ian, 32, 3 and 3, 138 against 131. So, you know, it's absolutely insane. I didn't even realise it was a decade since Pep had come and not climbed into the top 2. So as you can see from Ian's perspective, it's been a while since he had an unbeaten season. You see, back in 24/25 he was unbeaten. So let's talk about then the setup. I'm going to change my setup. Do you know what? To an extent, maybe changing setups don't really mean too much, but who knows? So this is my new setup. It's very sort of the old narrow, a bit like the Boom, but it's virtually identical to Ian's. In fact, I don't think that's what I think my setup should be, with 2 arrows going forward. I'm pretty sure, I moved the fullback's arrows going forward. Now, I've made a couple of signings, and some of them are quite interesting, I think it's fair to say. Now, I'm going to show you a player that I flogged to Ian. You may question, why would I sell such a player? And I'll tell you who he's a regen of, you may remember. Mikado. He is Aguero regen. Now, you're asking yourself, why? Why would you sell Aguero regen? I'll tell you why. Because there's a particular attribute that I've noticed has been in decline, and that is his pace. His pace of 4 is just horrendous. So my new factor for the new season is pace, and I got him on an exchange for this guy, who I'm very surprised Ian flogged, given his last season. 39 games, 28 goals, 19 assists. I mean, 8 to 8. I'm very surprised, but I ain't going to grumble to Ian. At the end of the day, he knows what he's doing. He's got to play 3 years younger. I'm hoping that that's going to bite him in the arse. It will probably bite me on the arse. So that was one of my signings. This next guy, I found this guy, right, Mateus Nunes. And I thought, wow, what a player. And I knew, firstly I went to his history, and then I saw he'd been in the game for a couple of years, so I thought, oh, good chance of getting him, he should be interested. And then I thought, one of those cunts are going to be interested. They weren't. So I was very pleased. I actually found him after I arranged that deal with Michaela leaving, and you can see he's got the pace. So with Nunes and Kirimov, is it? I've got initially them playing behind my out-and-out striker. Now, this is just a sort of provisional lineup. Up top, I will put a player that's brought through from the reserves. Again, the old pace has come through there. But he did have one game for me. You can see he didn't let me down in it last season. He had 3 games the season before, didn't really let me down, so I think it's time for him to step up. But of course, with those new signings, there's players from never played for my reserves, got the pace again, 23 years of age, didn't let me down in the reserves last season, that's for sure. But I've got Neymar, which is a Neymar regen, and of course I've got Messi regen. But I'm really keeping an eye on this pace attribute. Of course, I've got my lethal Lewandowski, if that's how you pronounce it, fuck off, anyone taking the piss out of me. Again, the pace is a bit of an issue there. I did just buy Motta, who, I don't know, he's got some good attributes. He's not central, which is a bit of a worry, but yep, so that's that. I've brought a whole load of players. I've brought some players from my reserves, £7 million for a 16-year-old goalkeeper, but I think he's actually very good. So I have 3 worldie goalkeepers. I'm offloading one of them if I haven't already sold him. No, he's not gone yet, but it looks like he's gonna go. Oh, maybe I have. Where's he gone? Where's he? Oh, yeah, we're talking about. There he goes. So I've got rid of him. I've freed up a couple of players I needed. I sold a player for 125 million. Remember, this is Tapani 2.19. No inflation patch or anything like that. 125 million. I think that was straight. I think that is my record. I think my record was 124 million. So he wasn't signing a new deal. He only had 2 years left on his deal because he did have the pace. But you know what? He was causing a lot of issues. So fuck him. So in terms of my players in. So Juan Mota, yeah, Nunez. This is another player that I purchased. Quite like the look of him. You know, very pacey central defender. He's got the positioning, he's got tackling, he's got marking. Not got decisions. He's only 26. We'll see how he flares up. And finally, I play for my reserves, who I think looks pretty decent. A year or so in reserves. I mean, he's going to be 21 soon, but we'll see how he flares up. I have been working quite intensively on my reserves. So the reserves now is all the 21-year-olds and under, although of course that Uruguayan is going to be 21. So the Uruguayan, yeah, is going to be. I've got Rodriguez. What's happening with Rodriguez? Oh yeah, I'm selling Rodriguez. There's a couple more players leaving on the 1st of July. Okay, so let's have a look at my goalkeepers. So we've got we've got another goalkeeper there. I think I must have got him on an exchange, yeah. I don't think so. I think I might actually just free him up, if I'm honest with you. For the simple reason, I got this Hena before I got the Czech goalkeeper. The Czech goalkeeper is going to be the main goalkeeper in terms of the future. But then I've still got what I believe is Buffon. And this Mexican insane guy who has had a really good run. Let me show you something, right? I knew I was going to show you something. So the last game of the season, last season, I had to win 14-0 to win the title. Oh no, not that one, sorry. That one. I had to win 14-0 to win the title. So he was 3 points ahead of me, and I think it's fair to say Ian obviously played a weakened team. He knew he could. And I did, and you can tell I did by who played up top for me there. He was 3 points ahead, but the damage was done, and you can see just what happened in that result in that game. It was crazy, it really was. That is Rafa van der Vaart, regen, who I am selling. Who I have sold. So I have been a busy bee over the summer. But that really was absolutely insane. But going back to my Mexican goalkeeper, apart from the Champions League game, the very last game, let me show you something very, very quickly. He had 14 games in total, 13 starts, 1 more as a sub, and he won 13 games. Now, it's my own fuck up really. He had 2 games and he had 2 sixes. I think one of them he came off the bench actually for an injury, and he got 2 sixes. But we as Chelsea had won both of those games, and I was probably being a little bit fucking cuntish by not playing him. And I should probably look at this win ratio probably a little bit more in depth than what I have been. So yeah, that's my goalkeeping situation. Defence. So we've got Sergio Ramos regen. I'm not sure who Poros is, but quality right back. Agbo is going to make my DMC slot provisionally ahead of Nunez. This is a different Nunez. This is my Chilean Nunez. Although my Chilean Nunez has been absolutely insane, but it's hard to say who's going to. I mean, I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I mean, Agbo, when he has played, he's done a job, so it's a tricky one. I picked up this Colombian towards the back end of the transfer window. We did only have half a dozen, but did all right. Do you remember who that is? That is Eden Hazard. Now, I don't want to fuck him off and take his pace too personally, because I'm provisionally going to have him in the centre, and he did well for me last season. And the reason I'm not going to fuck him off is because I have Medina with him, who does have the pace, who has been an absolute assist machine with 21 assists. I mean, I may well move to my new. I'm on my different device. I'm on a different device, hence why you can see change player and my tactic and that. My June boom is basically, for fuck's sake, is basically that. That is my June boom. So I may change it yet. I have got a centre mid, Martins, who I think was my ex-player. I fucked him off to Pep, then I bought him back. And I was going to sell him, but 7-4-4 and 8 starts, something too bad. But I don't know. I'm on the fence with him. So that is where we are at in terms of me and the plan going forward for season 119. Ian's not bought anybody this turn of the update season, but he did buy a couple, as we know. He brought Makeda. In fact, that was the only player he bought, so I was quite surprised that he's only made the one acquisition. But I think he's had a couple of players go. You've got the German hero, Gomez. He's been around the block a few times. Okay, so nothing really worth screwing about with Ian. But let me just show you something on Ian. We all remember this guy, don't we? Alex Gill, who had yet another remarkable season at the age of 33, 34. I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, 34, he's still got stamina 13, he's still got pace 13. Can he do a job this season? I hope he can't, but I hope he is tested, and I hope he fails, because I'm a selfish cunt like that, and I want Ian to fail. Then of course he's got the Ibrahimovic regen, who's just turned 31. He could get a real lethal season out of him. He did do very well. I mean, 58 goals in 34 starts. 58 goals in 34 starts added to Gill of 62. You know, and he does only ever have one up top. So to be fair to Ian, absolutely fucking insane. Let's have a look then at Pep. No one this turn of the update, and he bought no one. Do you know, I didn't even see that. I know we've all been playing the Euros. Now you can probably see right there, yeah. Look at the last season. Look at towards December and January. Don't say I don't help Pep, you fuckers. Right? So, obviously, I have a different mentality of the game to what Pep does, and I'd say Ian has his own mentality as well. So I offloaded this guy to Pep, this Costa Rican, and to be fair, he's done alright. 5 assists, 12. I don't know where Pep's playing him. This guy. Do you remember this guy? He was a rock solid DMC for me. As you can see, he was rock solid DMC. And Pep needed a right back. Now, in my opinion, on those attributes, he's not a right back, but nevertheless, I think that's when I come away from my Tyson Fury formation of 2 DMCs. This player kept causing me problems, and I was very reluctant to sell him, to be honest, because I think he looks like the bollocks. But there was 2 reasons I sold him. One, because he was causing me a lot of issues, and 2, because left back is my strongest position. So, I mean, he's had 3 games, so I don't know. Has he given him a fair crack? This next player, he caused me no end of problems. You're asking yourself now, why would I sell such a worldie? And he is a worldie, but I don't know. Maybe there comes a time when you think, hang on a minute, enough is enough. So that's not Suarez regen, by the way. I believe that's Cavani. And finally, just someone from my reserves who I decided it was time for him to go on. He had 1 game, and he had a lot of loan spells at Leyton Orient, which is ironic. 3 loan spells at Leyton Orient, and I think this was the reason why I fucked him off. 3 loan spells in 3 seasons at the same club, and look at that average rating, was awful. So it was time to just, and he was, you know, he's 23, he's going to be 24 soon, so it's time for him to go. So Pep's brought no one over to turn us over, but in my opinion, with a couple of those players, particularly the left back and the forward, I mean, if he plays Quinones in DMC, Pep's been playing the boom tactic. Oh, I sold that player to Pep ages ago. I don't know. I don't think Pep's got the strongest squad still yet. I do think it's getting stronger. Oh, did I sell him that player years ago? I did. Years ago. God, he's turned fucking lethal, isn't he? Oh, he's got him loan listed, so obviously I'm looking at last game, so that was the end of last season. Okay, who else did he buy in the late March? Juan Martinez, no shit, and Muller. See, that was a surprise buy. I think he bought him on deadline. It wasn't that great. And who did I buy? I bought somebody on deadline. Who was it now? Somebody on the deadline. Oh, it was that. Oh, I freed him up since. Yeah, I knew I brought a player on deadline. It was this Colombian who I've since freed up because I needed a space. Right, okay. I'm probably going to free up that Colombian goalkeeper. I brought this guy, Jan Van Dam, looked alright, and I was so fucked off. Within 1 month of being with me, he fucking he skipped training twice. And look where he ended up going back to. Fucking prick. Right, so that is that, and that is where we're at then with our epic of a fucking network game, and it is absolutely insane. And there's no doubt. I mean, look at that for Ian. 13 titles in the last 15 seasons. You know, that's absolutely insane. I'll probably do a press conference today whilst I'm at work. You're thinking, you fucking spastic. Will I sign the new 1-year deal with Chelsea and stay on? I will sign, you've heard it here first, right? I will sign a 1-year rolling contract to remain at the helm at Chelsea, because, let's be honest, right, if United take the title and United then break the record, the problem is, right, if I was to leave Chelsea now and take on a new job in the lower divisions, and with Pep being in decline, Ian could theoretically get himself another 5 titles, and, you know, 10 in a row. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's made it difficult for myself, to be honest with you, with Pep having such a bad run of late, because it makes it more inclined that I've really got to stay at Chelsea. But yeah, just for the record, a new 1-year contract at the Stamford Bridge. And I think it's fair to say I have got myself quite the squad now. Burgess, who is John Terry regen, I am going to retain him for this season, and as you probably see, he has made my provisional lineup. He is unhappy, he's got personal problems, and he is out of contract in 2 seasons. But he's going to be 30 years old. He will definitely be with me this season, but he's certainly got pace, and he didn't have a bad season. So Backy's another one. I mean, he's not got the pace, but has a lot of personal problems, but he'll be with me maybe 1 or maybe even 2 more seasons. But you can see how well he is. He's such a good performer, but of course there's a lot of problems with me, which is a bit of a shitter, really. And then I've got a host of players there who have still got 4 years left on their deals. Let's have a quick look at the reserves. We've got some real decent gems to come through. There was it's that one there actually. Conero, yeah. Okay, so that's where we're at then, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions about this crazy game, this particular save, or if you want anything doing on CMO 102 video wise, do let me know, and I will try and do it for you one morning. So until next time, guys, it's take it easy from me.